Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another version of the Southside Mavericks Coaches Show with Coach Jeff Williams. I'm Don Tate, and joined as always by Coach Williams. Coach, good to see you after a big win the other night.
It's great to see you too, Don.
Coach, down at Catholic, the boys get a chance to play at War Memorial Stadium. I think it's senior night for those guys, but other than having the opportunity to play in War Memorial, it was miserable in Little Rock Friday night, wasn't it?
It was. It seems like, the rain started here and we just took it with us. And I haven't been a part of it. We've had more rain games this year than we've had probably in the last 10 years, but I hadn't seen that just a constant, usually they'll break up sometime during the game, but it was constantly raining the whole time, raining hard. There's puddles all over the field. Your feet, we were underneath water over there. But our guys did a good job of kind of accepting what we had there when they knew we had to go win, but you knew what you practiced on all week in the game plan. You're going to have to do some different things because of the weather.
Well, Coach, it's going to be it's not going to be an aired out night that night. It's a lot of rain, going to be hard to hold the ball. The puddles, I know that when we were watching it on film, it looked like ponds out there in the field. We win the toss. First time we've won the toss in about 4 weeks, and deferred to the second half. We kick off, put it in the end zone. It's a touchback, comes back out to the Catholic 20-yard line. Immediately the weather is an issue. On their first snap, they fumbled it. It was a 1-yard loss. Defense holds quickly, which is something you want to have. They go 3 and out and kick it back to us, and we get the ball at our 40-yard line. You got to be pretty happy with that first series.
We deferred, and a lot of times we take the ball a lot of times, but it felt like the weather, we'd kind of get them pinned down there, let them make a mistake, and let them deal with that part of it, and maybe shorten the field a little bit, and worked out just as we planned. And like I said, they came out first snap, balls on the ground, and really our defense was outstanding all night against one of the top backs in the state, and hold them. We get the ball at the 40-yard line, we're ready to go on offense.
Coach, we talk every week about how important the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of each half are, and we have struggled a bit with that, but we get the ball back on our 40-yard line. First play from scrimmage, Ricardo goes left, cuts it back to the right, and goes 40 yards to the Catholic 20.
Yeah, we're in an outside zone play, something we kind of schemed up. We're getting them really pushed to the sideline, boom, and Ricardo's had great vision on that play all year, saw a crease, hit it, and he can explode through the hole.
Sitting at the 20, Tate goes for 3, and then Ricardo finishes it for us, Coach. Goes around the left side this time for 17 yards for the touchdown.
Goes in and big physical run, and it was kind of a key play there was their kicker who was playing corner, and they had a good collision there, and the kid from Catholic hurt his shoulder, and hopefully he gets well in that part. But it was a good physical run by Ricardo. Thought our offensive line got up on the linebackers really quick, so we're starting fast, and that's positive, especially in that weather. You want to get on the board quickly.
Well, we're 6-0. I know that every time we get ready for the point after attempt, we set up to look and see if there's a 2-point opportunity. There was. We ran a play that we had seen a couple of weeks ago with Darren Davenport, and we had him open, just got excited and overthrew him.
Yeah, he kind of mistimed his jump there a little bit, with all the conditions, but we felt like had it set up, try to, put them behind the 8 ball, and we didn't convert it, which, you always worried, kind of weather's kicking extra points because you had a snap, hold, and kick. And also people don't realize is those are college goalposts that you're dealing with. So we felt like we had an opportunity there not to, have to go through all that scenario. It would be better off to try a 2-point conversion.
Well, their first 4 plays, Coach, yield a punt. Our first 4 plays yield a touchdown. We're up 6-0. We kick off to Catholic. It's a squibbler that's fielded around the 15-yard line, and Coach, he heads up the right side, up the middle, and returns it 85 yards for the touchdown.
Yeah, big breakdown. And you always worry about special teams, and we got out of our lanes, and they blocked us a little bit and had some guys open to make the play. We didn't make the play. You got to get those guys down quickly, and that was just just deflating. Anytime you give up points in special teams, it's real deflating. And here we are. We've worked to get where we need to be, and kind of got them on their heels. Don't want to give them any momentum, and they run into the kickoff back, and that haunted us all night long.
Well, they made the extra point, Coach. It's 7-6. Unfortunately, these last 2 series are going to be a little bit of a foretelling of how the night went for the rest of the evening, because it was back and forth all night. Catholic kicked off to us, Coach. We returned it to the 29-yard line. Tay goes for 3 yards. Ricardo goes for a couple. It's 3rd and 5 from the 34-yard line, and the weather gets in the way there again. Tay's trying to pass. Looks like the ball just fell out of his hands as he was trying to move his arm forward.
Just fell out of his hands, and I've got tickled at Coach Key. He's went back and got Carson Wentz and falling out of his hands, and sent him a video saying, pros do this also. And Tay's not a big-handed kid, and so it's difficult with the ball, and it'd been difficult for anybody to deal with that ball, but it just slipped out of his hands, and there goes the weather being a factor.
Well, we've turned the ball right back over to him again, Coach. They're at our 31-yard line. A guy that we talked about last week that you said was going to be a handful for us, they started pumping him the ball pretty quick. Number 1, Sammy Johnson, has to be one of the best backs in the state of Arkansas.
He is one of the. He's very talented. He could play anything. He's a good receiver. Runs the ball well. He's strong. He's putting on some size, and we knew going in, that Sammy's the key. Anytime you bring up Little Rock Catholic this year, it's Sammy Johnson, and our guys really did a good job of really containing him all night and focused in on him. He's going to make a play or two. That going into it, but I was really proud of where our defense contained him.
Well, I was going to say that at the end of the night, he ended up getting over 100 yards, but there were lots of plays that we had him at the line of scrimmage or plus or minus 2 yards. I thought the defense did an outstanding job, especially side to side.
Yeah, they did, and you'd look up and we had 9 guys around the ball, and they're playing hard and they're playing with some confidence. You could feel it during the game, and you just see our defense just growing and growing and growing each week.
Well, they feed it to Sammy. Sammy goes for 3, goes for 1. They have a scramble, and they get a couple of yards. And, Coach, it's 4th and 6 from our 26-yard line, and they go for it. They fumble the snap, lose a couple of yards, and the defense holds and saves us for the first time that night.
Yeah, big stop, and they did it a lot of other times, and really proud of the way our defense played. We went out there and we talked about sudden change, and it's a sudden change situation, and really stepped up.
We take over the ball, Coach, at our 29-yard line. We get a first down. The offense sputters after that. We punt from our own 46-yard line, and Adam Puckett, on a really bad weather night, had a great night and punts the ball into the end zone to stop the return.
Did a great job. The last 2 weeks he's been outstanding, and Justin Waldrop's the other guy. Somebody's got to snap it back there, and Justin's a sophomore, did a great job, went in there, with that weather, and he stayed loose all night. And people don't understand the ball changes when it's wet. When it gets cold, it gets more, it's harder and things like that. And Justin did an outstanding job of snapping. Then Adams, he's been pretty consistent all year in his punting.
Well, they get the ball on the 20-yard line because of the touchback. Sammy Johnson goes for 4 yards, and he goes for 6 yards. 3rd and 5 from the Catholic 36 yards. And like we said, we stuffed Johnson for a -1 loss, and they end up having to punt to the Southside 21-yard line.
Yeah, well, once again, their defense, staying strong and trying to we got field position back and that part of it, and we just got to get something going offensively.
Well, we've done a good job with Sammy Johnson. You and I talked a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about everybody having a good guy. If you'll think about the last 3 or 4 weeks for us, 4 weeks, North Little Rock, it was the Tyler Day kid who was just incredible. Bryant had Latavian Scott. That was a handful for us. Cabot had a stable of guys they rolled in and out. Their number 43, a kid named Darren Rogers, was good. And then Conway had that huge quarterback, Giovanni Johnson. Every team in the Central has got a big threat back there.
Well, they do. And, that's one thing about this conference. I tell people it's very well coached, and there's a lot of great players in it. And this year, it's probably more running back than anything else. And everybody's got a great back. Some of them got multiple backs, and it's difficult, and they got a good player, and the coach did a good job of getting on the ball and figuring out different ways to do it. And I wouldn't want to be a defense coordinator in this league, to be honest with you, but they do a very good job, and there's a lot of great players. You got throw Ricardo Savoy in there also. He's as good as they get also, so it's a lot of great backs in this league.
Coach, we're at the 21-yard line. Weather, bad snap. It looks like it might have hit the back. As he was moving, we lose a couple of yards on first down, and after it's kind of gone back and forth, you're thinking, hopefully we're not having a bad moment here. But 2nd 12, Coach, beautiful 21-yard pass to Tyrese out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, ran a little RPO there, and they were they started putting everybody in the box. I mean, because they knew it was going to be difficult throwing it, and so we ran a little RPO there, and they got them all in there, throw it out there to Tyrese. Tyrese makes a great catch and does a good job after the catch.
Well, after that, Ricardo has a couple of runs for 16 yards. Coach, it's the end of the first quarter. We're down 7-6. As play begins, we swap ends and play begins. The first play after that, on first down, we dropped a pass at a mid-range crossing route that may have gone for big yards.
Yeah, it would have. Another RPO run pass option, and Tyrese is there, and the defender broke it up pretty good too. But the conditions were just horrible.
Well, as plays go in this game, as it went throughout the night, bad play, good play, struggle play. So we have the drop pass on the very next play, 2nd and 10 from the Rocket 44. Tate goes 21 yards on the keeper. If you watch that on film, really nice job by left guard Marlon Briggs pulling out, and it was a hole, Coach, that I could have gone through.
Yeah, he did run a little counter with him, and it's a read play, and Marlon did a great job, and then Jonathan Humphreys running right behind him, and did an outstanding job.
So Tay goes for 21 on that play, Coach. Very next play, Tay again from the 23-yard line on a 17-yard keeper puts us at 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. We've had 2 big chunks on those previous 2 plays. We missed a block on the next play after that at 1st and goal. We lose 4 yards. Snap again. The weather gets us. We lose 8 yards, and it looks like we're heading the wrong way, and certainly don't want to squander this type of opportunity. 3rd and goal from the 18-yard line. Just a beautiful throw to Tyrese for the touchdown.
Yeah, big play, the same play, RPO there, and great read by Tay, great catch by Tyrese, and really needed that one. Like I said, because you get worried about field goals over there because those college goalposts are so close together, and the weather and all that deal, and so you need to get it in the end zone.
Well, we set up, I guess the same thing we saw before. Went for the 2-point conversion. Tay keeps it, goes in untouched. We've gotten that back. So, Coach, it's 14-7 early in the second quarter.
Yeah, I got our 2 points back. We're back on playing normal, and it kind of just walked in the end zone. But, feel pretty good about if we can take care of the ball and just kind of get something going. And, we got people running wide open and, just being able to get to them due to a lot of the weather and things like that. And just got to be more consistent offensively.
So we've done a good job. We've taken the ball down. We've had big plays to keep us in it and scored. We kick off to them, Coach. It's fielded at the 5-yard line, returned 64 yards to the Southside 31-yard line, and 4 plays later, a touchdown on a 17-yard run by Sammy Johnson.
Yeah, they came out. This one guy you do not want to kick the ball to is Sammy Johnson, and just kind of splundered around there, kicked a little bit too far, and trying to kick it, kind of keep it away from him. He got it, and I said, "Oh no, that's not good." And we got 2 guys right there. Tell you how good he is. 2 guys that are unblocked right there to make the tackle on about the 20. When they don't make it, he goes. But you got to give Connor Robles a lot of that great effort. Got him on the ground. Then they come back in a power set and ran play. They hadn't ran a counter play out of their power eye, which we hadn't seen, and it was a good job by Coach Fogelman kind of scheming that up. And Sammy walks in. And you feel bad for our defense because you've been putting them in those situations. And once again, special teams, and we got to get in the locker room in half and get that fixed, and hopefully we do.
Well, they've tied it up. It's 14-14, Coach. Catholic kicks off to us. It's a squib kick, recovered at the Mav 24-yard line. Southside goes 3 and out on that. Southside is punting from its 32-yard line. Adam comes again and punts for a ball that's fair caught. It's a 48-yard net with a cold, wet ball in the rain. Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Kick.
I mean, those are the unknown plays that go through during a football game, but that was a big difference in the game.
So Catholic gets the ball at the 20-yard line, and Coach defense rolls out and does what they're supposed to do. They go 3 out. It's 3rd and 7. Quarterback gets out on the outside, and you think that the guy's open, and we get to him and sack him for a loss to bring him to 4th down. They punt it from their own 18-yard line, and we return it back to the Rocket 42-yard line where we take over. Not much going on in 3 plays. It's 4th and 2 from the Little Rock Catholic 34-yard line. Tay throws the ball. It's picked off, but you look there and there's a little yellow flag on the ground. And looked like a late hit.
Yeah, they were roughing the passer, and he threw it and got hit, and of course I'm looking there, then I'm looking back, and when we're very fortunate in that situation to get that call, but it is what it is, and they did it, so we get the call and kind of keep the drive extended.
15-yard penalty, Coach, puts the ball at the 19-yard line. We rush for one. We have a bad snap, lose 3 yards. We have a receiver open on third down in the end zone and just overthrow him. 4th and 13 from the 23, and just aren't able to get it done, and we turn it over on downs.
Yeah, I try to keep going. Had Tyrese open, and they did a good job with some pressure all night long. They moved those defensive linemen around, blitz a little bit here and there, and but you think we're sputtered that away, and finished the half, but now it's back on our defense, and they got to be able to finish.
Catholic starts on their 23-yard line, Coach, runs 4 or 5 plays, and that ends up being the end of the half. And we're tied at 14. How do you feel about that?
Well, if we got to go in here and get this kickoff thing straightened out, feel pretty good about it. I think we're playing great on defense, offensively. We're going to have to come up with they're doing a better job against our run because they're putting everybody in the box. We're going to have to be able to throw a little bit more, even though it's the conditions, and be safe with it, and just continue to play. It's a dogfight, and I was real proud of our kids because we end up winning the game, obviously, and we'll get to that. But they had to go, the weather, adversity, and things like that were just a good, tough, hard-fought game. But not a lot of adjustments because we know what they're going to be doing. Playing well on defense. We just got to continue what we're doing.
Well, the second half is going to be back and forth just like the first half was. Folks, stay with us. We're going to come back and talk about that second half in just a moment. Welcome back. We're here to talk about the second half. Coach, real back and forth first half, as you can tell by the 14-14 score. We get the ball back. We had won the toss and deferred. They squib kick. We return it back to the 34-yard line. 3 plays gets us to their 48-yard line. We have a really nice 16-yard pass to Tyrese that gets the ball down to their 36-yard line. We have a personal foul penalty, I believe, Coach, that brings it all the way back to the 49. We still get the first down, but we only netted about 3 yards on that. Very next play, a pass to Colton intercepted, and they returned it back to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, they came out, and we get a personal foul, and that's just not very smart in those situations, and, got a first down, and came back to another play. We're going to throw it to our fullback, and he pretty much got tackled. And so Tate didn't really have anywhere to go with it, and he had a 50-50 ball. Colton McBride's about as good as there is, and just stood a little short, and they intercepted it.
Well, they're going to take over from their own 31-yard line, Coach. They get a first down. We exchange penalties, move the ball back and forth a couple of times. We get them at 4th and 12 from their own 42-yard line. Bad snap on the punt. It kind of one-hop, or it didn't hop. It skidded on that turf. Looks like we might have gotten our hands on it, but he shanked it from their 42-yard line. And, Coach, it rolls out of bounds at our 45-yard line. Yeah,
we've got a tip on it, and poor Jalen Coleman, everybody's telling him everybody get away from the ball. And he's looking at it, and probably he picks it up because it's shanked, and their coverage is always down the field. He probably picks it up. He's going to score, and I'm the only everybody's going to get away. And he kind of looks at me and said, "Coach," I said, "Yeah, you probably should pick that up." But we were a little nervous about everything at that point in time. But Coach West did a great job, schemed up. We went after most of their blocks and their punts, and finally got there.
Defense did what we needed to do on their first series, Coach. We had struggled to turn the ball over relatively deep in their territory, and they came back and stopped them.
Yeah, came back with starting fast and finishing strong. And that's the whole key.
Well, we didn't necessarily start fast, but we started a little faster, Coach. Next play, we're at our own 45-yard line. Tate goes up the gut, outruns the defense, 55 yards for the touchdown. And the last 10 yards, he was leaving, folks.
Yeah, and great read, did a read option, hit it. Great job by our offensive line, and made a great run, made the safety miss, and he was off to the races. And the offensive line did an outstanding job.
They did. Connor comes in and knocks it in. We're up 21 to 14 after 2.5 minutes of the third quarter. Kickoff returned from the 10-yard line. Another good return from those guys, Coach. Out to the 46 yard line. Another big return after we scored.
Yeah, we'll get that fixed this week with personnel things, but yeah, you cannot beat teams by giving up that much yardage on a kickoff.
Defense does what they've been doing all night. Did a great job. They started their own 46-yard line. Coach, they go 3 and out. Get a nice punt, though. The ball rolls dead at the Mavs' 9-yard line.
Yeah, get a great punt by them, and we're got to take it over. It's a close game. We got to do something with it and take care of the football.
And then the pendulum swings again. It's first play from our own 9-yard. Ball slips out of Tate's hands. It's just intercepted, and they get the ball after the first play at our 9-yard line, asking the defense to go back out.
Yeah, that was a crazy play. I mean, he went back and they just lost it, and their kid made a great play, dove and caught the ball, and we were running an RPO a little bit there, and just slipped out of his hands, and defense got to go back out there, putting him in a tough spot. But it's crazy now. That's the way. I mean, it's pouring down rain. I don't know if I could throw a football either in those situations, but Tate does a good job overcoming things. Things don't go his way, or our way, and then comes back and always fires back out there again.
Well, the defense goes back out, done a great job. They're at the 9-yard line. Coach takes one play, Sammy Johnson, who we'd held in check pretty well in the game up to that point, goes that 9 yards in one play. But PAT was blocked by Jalen Coleman.
Huge play. We talked about their kicker getting hurt, and so they got a new kicker. So you're talking about weeks and weeks of timing, and after they scored the first one, I told him, I said, their kicker's out. I said, you got a chance to block every one of these, and great job by them, because that people don't understand the block kicks, or you miss an extra point. The momentum changes, the way the coach thinks, the way the players think, the way the whole thing goes, and was a huge, because you still got the lead in. They've done all that work, and we pretty much gave it to them, but they worked and got it in, and you blocked the extra point, and you're still behind. And great job by Jalen.
Good. 21-20. Glad to have that 1-point lead. They kick off to his coach, return to the 22-yard line. We have a couple of rushes for 1 yard. 3rd and 9, we have a 19-yard pass to Tyrese that was really good to get us out of the hole and give us a chance to get close to midfield. Takes the ball all the way out to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, great throw and catch, and those seniors, you keep bringing them up. It's adverse situation, and they keep making plays over and over, and they have for the last 2 years.
We're 1st down and 10 from our 42-yard line. We have 2 rushes to get us to the Rocket 46-yard line. And, Coach, we threw a 40-yard pass to Colton that is absolutely one of the best catches I've seen this year.
It was. I mean, he one-handed it, and of course they got a big jumbotron. They replay it kind of like we do here. I mean, the crowd just and all over it, and he's really coming to his own. Those 50-50 balls you can throw up to him, and he's doing a great job positioning his body. Coach Tippy's done a great job of coaching him, and he's really become a weapon for us.
Coach, he gets us down to the 6-yard line. We're 1st and goal from the 6. Catholic's defense starting to tighten up a bit there. We actually get down to 4th and goal from the 2, and then we run another Jeff Williams special. Everything flows to the right. Darren Davenport chips on the outside guy, drifts out into the end zone on the left side, and we just throw a punt to him out there. It's a beautiful play.
Good call by Coach Key. That's something we've, it's more 2-point, you can always carry a couple of 2-point plays going into. Been working on it for the last couple of weeks, and, brought it out, and they brought Sammy Johnson in to cover Tyrese, and Tyrese went in motion. He was over there, and you knew, we can get this thing off. We're probably going to walk in. Great catch by Darren. Great job by our offense line getting out. But that's a play they hadn't seen. And, in those moments, you got to have those plays.
It was a big play. The way things have been going with long kickoff returns and long plays, it only takes one, and you're out of the game. Coach, we're up 28-20. Middle of the third, almost the beginning of the 4th quarter. We kick off back to Catholic. They get the ball at the 28-yard line. They get a 1st down. Defense holds. Catholic punts from its own 42-yard line, and it rolls dead inside our 13-yard line. We go 3 and out. Puckett punts for us and gets it back to the Southside 45. Catholic again from the Southside 45. A possession that I thought was critical. We're getting late in the game. we're only up by 8, and they've got good position on us.
Well, I was worried when we went 3 and out because we finally got the field flipped and all that part of it, and so we got to go back out there and snap and punt it, and was really concerned about the field position. Our defense been playing well all night long, and had put them in that position again, but they answered the bell.
Well, they're at our 45, and you're right, the defense did answer the bell. They got them to 3rd and 8 from the Southside 29-yard line on an incomplete pass. They need to go for it. It's late. 4th and 8, huge 9-yard sack by Martez Gaston.
Yeah, Martez played his best game he's played all year. I mean, they tried to get him on a bootleg, and he was there doing what he's supposed to do, and really blitzed well, rushed the passer well. Kind of what we expected Martez to do all year, but he's really came on, and I was so happy for Martez because he deserved a game like that and really concentrated really well, and it's a great job. But Martez kind of represents our defense the way they were all night. Everybody did their job and did what they were supposed to do.
We start at our 38-yard line, Coach. 3 plays, we get to the 47-yard line. We end up having to punt. But again, punter does a great job. Ball's fair caught at the 10-yard line. It's late in the game, and they need to go 90.
Well, it was 4th and short there, and you're saying, well, do we go for it here or not? But the way our defense is playing, the way we've been punting the ball, I would stick them back out there again and let them win the game.
We're at the 10-yard line. They got to go 90. So, like you always say, it's very difficult for a high school team to go 90 yards without making a mistake. Well, they start out very well, Coach. They go for 6 yards. They rush for 23 yards. They rushed for 13 yards, and in 3 plays, they're sitting at our 48-yard line.
Yeah, and we missed a couple of tackles there, and we got to finish the game, and we're over screaming finish, and and I know those guys have been playing a lot of snaps, but missed a couple of tackles. And Sammy's hard to tackle, and so but they still got to go a long ways to win the ball game.
Well, they're at our 48. They've looked really good for those first 3 plays. Defense tightens up right there, Coach. They get to 4th and 9 from the 47-yard line. They complete a pass that's for 2 yards, and the defense holds, and we take over on downs. Great job once again by the defense.
Great job finishing, and that's we've talked about that. Finish the game strong and start the game fast. And I thought the other night was kind of put it all together. We started fast and finished the thing like we wanted to.
We get the ball back, Coach. Run out the clock. Southside leaves a wet and dreary and cold Little Rock Catholic game with a 28-20 win that we really needed.
Yeah, we did need that, and they needed it also. I mean, this time of year, everybody's looking at playoffs. That puts us in the playoffs, and so that's a positive. Now we're playing for seeds and things like that. But I thought it was a great game for our kids. I mean, the weather. You're on the road. There's nobody behind you in the bleachers. Had balls on the ground and things like that, and had to play against a good back, and it was a really good overall win for our kids. And in this league, you get a win, I don't care what your score is or how you do it, and especially on the road, you'll take them and get out of there.
A lot of adversity for both sides of the ball.
It really was. It was, and it was a great, tough, hard-nosed high school football game. But Catholic, we go down there. A lot of times senior night, they've always played us well down there, and Coach Fogelman does a great job. And I knew they were ready to go. And our kids were excited about playing War Memorial, but they had to overcome a lot of things. We're real proud of them.
Statistically, Coach, not a huge game. You would think with the weather the way it was that there was not going to be a whole bunch. Tate throws for 122, rushes for 128. A really nice game by him. Yeah,
Tate did. We put a lot on Tate, and he did a great job throwing, great job running the football, and Cardo on the offensive line, all those guys did a great job, and defensively we were outstanding.
It becomes an offensive line game, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you're getting very limited. Coach Tiffany was talking about that on the way home on the bus. Was both teams, you really get limited at what you could do. Obviously we won't want to do both and be able to throw the ball quite a bit, but when you get in those elements, your game plan's got to change. And we kind of knew that watching the weather all week long. Didn't know it was going to rain that bad, but knew we were going to have it was going to be some wet conditions.
So the playbook shrinks considerably, and then that offensive line, you just have to outman somebody.
Yeah, you do, and you got to play well and continue, and you got to take care of the football, and then it's just kind of Lou Holtz. You say that all the time. And bad weather, pack your running game and your defense and go play, and that's pretty much what we did.
Ricardo has 18 rushes, Coach, for 114 yards. Tyrese has 5 catches, which is for 80 yards, which is a decent night for him. Obviously, if the weather would have been better, it may have been even more than that. Had a touchdown. I don't know how many passes Colton caught, but that one that he caught for 40-yard lines was the biggest catch we had in the whole ball game.
Yeah, it was. You know, your season's on the line, getting in the playoffs, and he has stepped up. He's not afraid of the big moment.
Adam Puckett had a big night for us, Coach. He had 4 punts. In that weather, wet ball, averaged 45 yards net
No,
on his
it's huge,
punts.
and he's been huge all year long. And like I said, you got to throw Justin Waldrop in there because you got to snap it and get it back there, and his snaps were perfect.
Defensively, Coach, we've talked all night how we have put them in some spots and they have come through. Davenport comes out, has 19 tackles. Landon Chafee has 8 tackles, and that's 2 for loss. Martez Gaston, 2 sacks and 3 tackles for loss.
Yeah, I was really proud of Martez. Landon had a great game also, and so did Darren, which we always expect. But Martez really, you know, we've been trying to get pressure on the passer, and then we did that, and that really makes it easier on those guys on the back end. But I thought overall defensively, that's the best game we've played all year.
They allowed 2 stats that jumped out at me when I was looking at them. They allowed a total of 139 yards to Catholic, and that's a quarter sometimes, Coach.
Yeah, and Sammy Johnson usually 139 yards. You know, as soon as he laces up his shoes against anybody,
he had 128 yards. Coach.
I mean, he's going to do that every week, and but really proud of the way our defense played.
One of the things that really stood out for me is that on the defense, Catholic was 0 for 10 on 3rd down and 0 for 4 on 4th down.
Great job of situational football, and we talk about that on this show all the time, and I really did. I thought we played great situational football, especially on defense. I mean, 4th downs and it's 3rd and long. If they caught it, we rushed the passer. Well, you know, a lot of those sacks, you know, there was nobody open, and so we did a great job. Coach Cox and defense staff did a great job of planning for the 3rd down and did a really good job.
How about injuries coming out of Friday night, Coach?
We're healthy. You know, I want to kind of give a shout out. You know, Jordan Jackson had surgery on Friday. Everything came out good. You know, we're going to lose him for the season. And you know, Jordan's had a great career here. Has done a lot of great things. Great teammate with all our guys. But for this time of year, week 9, knock on wood, we're about as healthy as we can be, and you know, got bumps and bruises here or there, but we are healthy, and you know, that's the whole key of the game. Is, you know, me and Buck James were talking about that from Bryant the other day. You know, we beat each other up so much, and then you get the playoff. Whoever's healthy in the matchups, that's the whole key of the whole thing.
Coach, after this, we're 8 games into the season. We're 4-4. We're 2-3 in the conference. Still plenty to play for. We've played the top 3 teams on our side already. Central comes to town, Coach. It's senior night, maybe a little bit of a distraction, but certainly an opportunity for us to recognize those men.
Oh yeah, this is one of the best group of seniors we've ever had, and we've had a bunch of great seniors, and excited for them. We always play well on senior night. It's nice for them, their parents, and to be recognized, because you know, we always hear about the Tate Gatewoods, Ricardo Savoys, but there's some guys out there that, you know, are on our football team that are just great teammates. They help with the help team, and those guys, they need to be recognized, and really love this group of seniors. You know, they've got to play a lot of football. They're a fun bunch. I've really enjoyed this year coaching them, and you know, we want to continue to play. You know, we got a lot to play for. We still got a chance to have a home playoff game. We don't want this Friday night coming up to be their last home game.
No doubt about that. Senior night, Central comes in, Coach, at 1-6. They've lost 5 straight. This reeks of trap game to me.
Well, it does. I mean, you can say what I mean. Our kids are mature enough to understand that, and we'll get them ready to play. It's senior night. We got a lot to play for. You know, we want to take our seniors out on the right note. Central's, you know, obviously struggled, but you know, we're still on a point deal. I mean, we need to win by 13 points if we can. You know, and first of all, win the game, and then, you know, you start dealing with points and things like that. But you know, we'll get a good plan together. We got to execute. We still got things we got to fix. I mean, you look at our kickoff team last week. Don't think we're not going to work on that a bunch this week. And so there's a lot of things that we need to get fixed, which you do every week, and we'll continue to push and push and push. And I know our guys will respond.
Not to look ahead at all, but the next we need to play very well the next 2 weeks. Playoff positioning will be critical from that. A home game can come from that. Northside has lost 2 in a row now. That's the last game of the season. They lost to Conway and North Little Rock, 2 very, very good teams in our conference, and they're at Cabot that week. We just need to keep our nose in what we're doing, and
yeah, just stay focused on what we're doing. I mean, that's bottom line. One game at a time, one play at a time, and finish fast. I mean, start fast and finish strong, and that's the whole key to the whole thing. But you know, our kids will be ready, and I know that.
Coach, congratulations on another great win, overcoming a lot as far as weather and being out of town, all that stuff. Kids did a great job. Congratulations to you and them.
Thank you, Don.
Folks, thanks for joining us this week. Be sure and join us next week for the Southside Mavericks Coaches Show with head coach Jeff Williams.